Hello, hello everyone. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to Face, Card Making Space. We're live, unscripted, unfiltered, crafty chaos. The unpaid intern sitting in the corner to help moderate. I don't think I have any actual housekeeping or anything. No, I think we're good. It's been a long week. It's been a long week.
Cold.
Yes, cold. We got a lot of snow here. It's like howling outside. It's windy and howling, and I'm tired, man. I am tired, but we're still gonna make something and have some fun while everyone else is pre-gaming or whatever it is they do before the Super Bowl. I have no idea. Yeah, we can say it. I just can't I don't know. They've got a lot of copyright stuff surrounding that whole thing. So I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. I'm looking forward to that chaos too. I don't watch it. I don't do sports. I know a lot of people do. That's great. Love it. Not my thing. But yeah, I look forward to whatever random clips, go viral. That always interests me. And the commercials. I love the commercials and the halftime show. I usually will tune into that. Thankfully, it all gets uploaded online, so I can just watch it after. I don't need to watch during. I don't care. My plan is I'm hoping that we can watch The Wild Robot later. I've been I wanted to see it in theaters and just we couldn't make it work. And yeah, that's more my thing. I really want to watch it, even though I know I'm probably gonna curl up and cry watching it. Just the preview for it made me it looks so cute. Anyway, oh my goodness. So yeah, it has been the most wintry winter. Yep, you're 100% correct, Murray. It has just been bonkers, and that was also why this week was so long. Just kind of side note, little life update story. We got a blizzard here. That would have been Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday was the blizzard because Chris had to wrestle our garbage bin out front in a blizzard. And then our garbage did not get picked up because it was on its side. I didn't discover that till after I got the kids to school. And I was like, was it that bad? But all the neighbors, yeah, we had to check our security footage, and some idiot in a truck ran into our garbage bin, damaged their vehicle. So they got their own karma immediately. But we have it all on camera and no license plate, so we can't do anything about it. But it was kind of fun watching them come right back to pick up their driver's side mirror that they knocked off. Serves them right. The blizzard wasn't that bad. They could see what they were doing, and they were driving like morons. But thankfully, it was in the middle of the night or dark enough that there weren't children out and about. Anyway, so that was fun. We had to deal with that this week.
Yep.
Again, unpaid intern had to do a ton of extra work to haul away all of our garbage because we are a big household. Anyway, so we're both exhausted. Wild Robots. I've heard it's a good movie, and the book I think is really good too because it's based on a book. I should get the book for the kids and stuff, and just the art style. I'm always a sucker for different art styles and things like that, and the art style of it really appealed to me. So, okay. For me, it's been an easy winter here in Alaska since I'm used to it. Well, we're used to it too. We're just tired of it.
After 4 months of it, it's worn out its welcome. And
yeah, and last year we didn't get snow until January because it was a La Nina year last year. El Nino?
Yeah. El Nino.
Whatever one it was. I don't. Stop it. I don't. Whatever it was that does the things to the weather patterns. So last year we didn't get snow until January, which was bizarre. That, it was weird. And then we got hit hard. This year we got snow. I think we got a little bit in October.
We did.
Just a smidge. And then November, we've had snow now, November, December. So 3.5 months. And we're going to have another March, month and a half still. We still got a good 6 weeks. Well, groundhog saw his shadow, blah, blah, blah. You know, all that hocus pocus. Whatever. I find it funny. We are an advanced society, and yet people put a lot of stock into whatever, honestly. Honestly. Anyway, okay. El Nino last year. Well, Marty and Chris are right. Whatever, you guys. You guys can tell me. I don't know. I don't pay attention. I let someone else, like, I was just like, what? I like walk outside and I'm like, it's just cold.
It is so cold.
I don't really care. I think Chris is like, it means like such and such. I'm like, okay then. Okay, I think. Yeah, I am ready. Yeah, and yeah, Sylvia. Instant karma. Oh yeah, it was when he knocked it. Like when the first clip we like Chris found on our like security footage, like just the person just like knocking it over, and it was so frustrating. And it was like you just won't count. And then Chris watched longer, like scrub through, and yeah, found him coming back and saw like the piece of the mirror, and it was like that actually felt good, even though it was like it was right beside the bin. All he had to do was just pick it up. But you can't expect much from someone driving like a complete and total moron in a residential area during a blizzard.
Yeah. He was
like
going a little too quick.
Oh yeah, he was going too quick, and like he was driving like he deserved it. He deserved the damage to his vehicle. I don't care. Anyway, diddly. Okay, so yeah, welcome to all the peeps. That was enough whining about garbage and the weather. Welcome to chaos. Good job, unpaid intern. Bummer you didn't get paid to do that too. You might want to look into another paying intern job. There's just look. He's got a full-time job, thankfully. It's just and for those that aren't aware, it became a thing calling him the unpaid intern because he's just helping out just during my Sunday lives, and he does it for free. I buy him snacks. Sometimes I bake cookies, things like that, which I still plan on doing. I said that last live, I think, that I was going to bake cookies, and I never got a chance to. This week has been long. It's just been one of those weeks. Like I've been doing a lot of admin crap and just dealing with the stuff behind the scenes, and it's like I need a vacation just from the last week, which is whatever. It's been whatever. Okay, so I have plans. I've got everything prepped, hopefully. We're going to see. I've got a rough idea in my head, and I'm going to try something I've never shown in a video before. I did a tiny little test before I went live, and it worked. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. And Allison, can you share your opinion of your the wooden round these dudes? Yeah, there's the hello to the unpaid intern. I love them. These are from, is it Stamp and Storage? I got it. Just let me grab we'll do a quick little, I think it's from, is it Stamp and Storage? Someone correct me. My brain is like, oh no, you guys, it's going to take me a little bit. My brain is just not catching up to everything else in life. I think it's Stamp and Storage. Let me double check. Is that where I got them? Are they the ones that do the carousels? Yes. They're the ones that do here. I'll post it and then Chris can recopy it. Stamp and Storage. There we go. And then you can probably copy it from the chat.
Yep.
I put it right in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I like them. I love them. They're great. They're great. I have, these are the ones holding, and it's blurry because of the lens I use. These ones that you guys can see have the Altenew inks in them. These specific holders, carousels, it's hard to, these specific ones are the ones that were originally meant for distress inks, but they also hold the Altenew round ink pads. And so these ones, these are the original ones that meant to hold the distress inks. So they hold like 92, I think, ink pads, which is sweet. Because especially if you're familiar with Altenew and their fresh dye inks, they've got a lot of these are full. I have 2 of them. They're full. They hold 92. So we got like 184 colors at least, or it's insane. Anyway, but in the time since I got these, Stamp Storage has released one specifically to hold the Ultinew, and I think they hold even more. I actually do have them because I'm going to repurpose these to hold the Lisa Horton like interference inks because people have been asking about those. I have them. I saved up and I got them for myself for like Christmas, and they're still sitting in the box because, dudes, my life is chaos. So yeah, there's options. They're great. The only thing is you have to pay extra if you want to purchase them like pre-assembled, like they come assembled, and you can get them like painted. I got mine unassembled, non-painted, nothing, because shipping outside of the US is horrific. Same thing. I budget and save. Shipping basically doubles the cost. Like to me in Canada, it was a lot. It was a lot. But again, they're heavy. They come in great big boxes. They're heavy. It is what it is. They do ship quick though. That is one of the perks. Like you pay through the nose for it, but I have them I think I had them within a week of my order or something. It was awesome. But I got mine unassembled. Putting them together is a process. It really is. But so yeah, if you've got the budget for it and you're really interested in them, getting them pre-made and in white is also an option. My big reason why I love them so much though is I can hold all those ink pads in one IKEA Calyx cube. So I do like them. And I have the ones for the distress inks that also will hold the cubes. I have those. Those are off camera. Those are kind of off in a corner. So I bought the slim coat. Yeah, like they're good. I quite are they very heavy when fully loaded? I couldn't tell you. I assume as much. Because especially a full one with that, but like I don't take that out of there. I do not remove that from the unit, but I would assume it's quite heavy when it's full. So yeah, they're good. I do really like them. No regrets. I am very glad that I got them. And like I said, when they came out with the Ultinew specific one to hold the Ultinew because they hold more. Normally I wouldn't have got that, but because I got the Lisa Horton inks and I needed a way to store them because I have nowhere to put them, and I still have nowhere. That's why I haven't put them together. I was like, I have no more. All my Calyx squares are full. I need a bigger boat. Okay. But yeah, they're solid. Yeah, they're solid units. Like they seem when you're putting it, like if you are putting it together, they almost seem flimsy because it's like there's a lot of pieces. It takes a while, and it would help if you had someone helping you. And it's one of those things where once you kind of figure out what on earth, like they have instructions. I think they even have a video, whatever. But it's like I've now put together I have 4 of them all together. I am like an expert at putting these together now, but they're still a little time consuming. But once they're put together and you like, and a mallet comes in handy.
Yep.
Or literally when you because once you have to put the top on, like you've got the whole thing assembled and then you put there's a top for it that goes on the top. I literally put mine on the ground and sat on it. Just because the mallet went, and I was just like, screw it, because, put it on the floor just because it needs to fit. Like, you'll know it's together if it fits in the unit. So, anyway. Is your garage a 2-car? Oh, yes. I have a little more than half the garage I've taken over. The other half is where we keep all our recycling and, like, garage stuff. We don't park in it, even though it's winter here. And a lot of our neighbors, we've seen the same thing. It's kind of funny, like, when they leave their garage doors open, I was like, oh, the neighbor down the street, theirs is a man cave. And then another one down there, theirs, I think, is set up, because I've heard, I think they, like, their kids have a band or something. Because I've heard, they've got, like, a band, like, a studio set up in there, like, almost, like, so many of our neighbors, same thing, because our houses aren't that big. And a lot of our neighbors have, like, basement suites, because that's how on earth else are you going to afford stuff. So yeah, everyone just takes over their garage. It's more living space. So yeah, we've all got garage heaters, and I get a kick out of like being Snoopy when they leave their garage doors open. I was like, oh, how'd they organize like their things? So yeah. Anyway, where'd you get the labels? With Altenew, they sell labels. Altenew sells labels. They come in packs, and yeah, I use their little color labels. With my well, I'm going to use distressings. I just printed them. Yeah, I just used a label printer and printed them for my distressings, and then yeah, that's all of that. Okay. Where'd you get the label? Okay, I think that was everything. Yeah. Okay. So that was that. Ink pad storage. It works. And yeah, nowadays there's a fair bit of options, but the carousels are specifically from Stamp Storage. And yeah, I like them. Okay, let's switch down to here. Speaking, I'm distressing. That's what we're going to use, not this one yet. I picked out, I'm still in sort of a Valentine-y mood, even though it's kind of crazy to me that Valentine's is it Friday?
Yes.
Valentine's is Friday. Woo! We have no plans.
No.
We never have plans. We don't get to go anywhere. We stay home. Maybe for Valentine's, maybe we can do like a movie night again, you and me.
Yeah.
Like make something. We'll go maybe get a. I was gonna say we can go get a bottle of something. We do. We have the IKEA. One of our kids was at IKEA, so we get those IKEA, the IKEA bubbly. Yeah. You know that stuff. We got a couple of those in the fridge, so we'll have one of those. Woo! Exciting. I'm all for it. Okay. Anyway, Colleen, you can go back and watch from the beginning. We kind of described. I talked about the ink pad storage. Okay. First off, before we do anything new, we're just going to do simple ink smushing, which I've shown a million times. It's always super fun. One of my favorite things to do, because who doesn't like making a mess? It would help if I got my craft mat out. Okay. Valentine's Day Friday, and then our 40th anniversary on Sunday. Belinda, happy early anniversary. That's amazing. Can you imagine 40? 40 years. Chris and I are on year... We were just talking about this the other day. I was like, it's been... And now we don't remember. I think this coming summer is 8.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think it's been 8 years. I can't imagine 40. We'll be very, very old by that point, but hey. Can you imagine if I'm still live streaming in, well, like 30 years?
It'll be a little bit different.
It'll be something. It'll be like direct from my brain to other people's brain. Some crazy.
Exactly how it's gonna be.
Yeah, it'll be like Neuralink something.
Yeah, you'll control their
Okay.
hands as you snap.
I
I hope not. Jeez, what a dystopian, horrible future we paint.
Who knows? Who knows? I'm sure I will still be sharing my crazy crafty chaos with everyone in 40 years. You never know. You never know. It'll be something. Something. Mari and her hubby are at 37 years. That's just that's impressive. That's impressive. Like some days I feel it's like it's been so long, but it's been like just over 7 years with us too. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine like 30 more years to it. So yeah. That's impressive. I love it. You guys are awesome. Okay. Craft mat. And I'll show this because I talk about this. This is the big one. This is the full size one that I've linked, which is actually also on sale right now. The stamps that I'm using is on really good sale. I'll get to that later. But there's a reason why I very much recommend a craft mat. It doesn't have to specifically be this one because Tonic makes several. This is the Tim Holtz one. It's meant for his big glass mat because it's got the like little weighted corners and stuff. It's great. But there's like smaller ones and there's other ones. I have like all of them. Do you need them all? No, you just need one. Anyway, craft mat. And there's a reason why this is necessary. And it is. There's a reason. So, when it comes to ink smushing, there is, and I've talked about like surface matters. It makes a difference, specifically more than anything with distress inks. because I talk about this a lot. I'm not going to really get into it during this live, but like ink formulations vary across all the brands. They just do, because that's each one is kind of proprietary to their own, etc. And a lot of the other ones are similar, because a lot of them are made in the same factory, very similar, if not the same ink formula, everything else. That said, when it comes to distress ink, it is unique. I have used many inks. I have never had inks work the way the distress inks work, because, you know, Tim Holtz worked with the chemist at Ranger, etc., and they formulated it this way on purpose. You know, it's very water reactive, and it does things that other inks don't do. Other inks are water reactive. You know, other inks we can watercolor with and do all the things. These just do it in a very unique way. But I've shown it with all sorts of inks. It's fine. But the big thing with ink smushing is you want inks to bead up, because that's what gets us the texture. And let's use Lumberjack Plaid, because this is the darkest shade of what I'm using. So when I talk about when surface matters, when you're ink smushing, I also need this. That would help. Maybe put my cloth on me so I don't make a mess. Okay, so glass, work surface, craft mat, smushing pad, nothing, doesn't, you know. Now, when I talk about surface mattering, what I mean is when you spray water on this, it immediately beads up on the craft mat. On the glass, and actually I'll zoom in and show this even closer. This is what I'm talking about, surface mattering. This beads up, it's kind of they all stay in place. This turns into a puddle. This is why I say surface matters. Are either of these right or wrong? No. Both of these will work. You can do ink smushing on this. That's fine. You're going to get a completely different look. This versus this. Because here, I got just this old scrap. So, you know, because depending on how you press it in as well, especially the first smush, it's going to smush all up anyway. But then, you know, you can a lot of times get that. That's what we're looking, you know, the splotchy diddly-da. Whereas this is just a puddle, you know? Again, are either of them wrong? No. No. It's just a lot harder to get that splotchy look on the glass. So that's what I talk about when I'm saying like surface matters, because it makes a difference. So yeah, glass, just the nature of like glass and the ink sitting on it, it just pools. Whereas on the craft mat, it immediately like bubbles up, you know, and beads up and creates that sweet texture that we like so much. So again, neither is wrong, you know. It's just sometimes, you know, if you're going for a certain look, or you're wondering why your results aren't the same as others, etc. A lot of it's the surface, and then also the paper you're using. Those can be, because you could be using the exact same inks and spray the water and do the things, and it's like, why is it just So the other thing, the second part, is your paper surface matters. I'm using distress watercolor paper to do this because it's literally meant to work with distress inks. You know, other watercolor papers 100% work. I've done it a bajillion times. I've shown it in a bajillion videos. It works. Totally works. Regular cardstock, not so much. You can still do ink smushing on it. It's just not, the color will not move. It'll soak in immediately, and sometimes it'll pill, depending. Again, is it wrong? No, it's not wrong. You do you. Play with it. See what works. Because sometimes I'm impressed. Sometimes I'll see someone's card and I'll be like, how on earth? And then if I'm lucky enough and they did a video and I'll see, and it's like they used just like regular cardstock and did ink smushing, and it's like they came up with this really neat looking background that I was like, huh, who'd have thunk, you know? So it always, surface tension. Yeah, I would say, yeah, surface tension. That's basically what this is. But yeah, I highly recommend having a craft mat. It doesn't have to be this big one, but again, it's on sale. It's like $5 off, something like that. It's not expensive. It's like $25 for this thing. This will stain, as you can see, because it is a woven, it's a woven fabric. You can kind of see it's a woven fabric with like a silicone type backing to it. So this does just stain. Like the inks seep into it, and other inks more so than others. But even just that Lumberjack Plaid, because we've talked about this, red is just the bane of everything. It just the red molecules are just a nightmare to deal with. So yeah, it's gonna stain. It's fine. It's fine. So we're just gonna do some really fun little ink smushing just to create some texture. And I forgot to plug this in. Hopefully it doesn't mess up my camera. Everything seems to be working. Okay. So hopefully that's enough of me yapping. Let's get to actually like doing said ink smushing. Now I'm not going to do like super heavy. I want this to kind of be light, which saying that, and me and my heavy hands, we're just going to see what happens. So I'm going to start with like some cracked pistachio. I'm not going to add very much of this either. And on camera, it's not going to look like there's even like really anything here. But again, method to the madness. So we'll start with cracked pistachio. And I'm adding even more water than I normally would. Because I just want like, I want this really light. I wanted like a really minty color, and cracked pistachio is the closest like kind of minty green in the distress line. And I want it light. I don't want my background to be super dark, because I have other things we're going to add to it. So it's, you know, we're just going to start with this and see what happens. Yeah, some of our tools, you know, they're going to get stained. Our stamps, they're going to get stained. Our grip mats, they're going to stain. Craft mats, they're going to stain. It's fine. There's a weird, and I've talked about this. I had a whole rant about this in one of my other lives. I've talked about this many times. There's a weird pervasive mentality, specifically in card making more than anything else. Because when you look at actual like arts, like, you know, watercolor artists, oil painter, et cetera, like when you watch their content, look at their tools. Usually they are an absolute freaking hot mess. Like stained to heck, paint all over everything, you know, it just is. And it's like, whatever, it's well loved, they don't care. But there's this weird mentality in card making where things need to be kept like pristine and clean and perfect. No, they don't at all. Like, I don't know. I just, it's a weird thing. And I used to be very guilty when I first got into like card making 2 decades ago. Like that was the mentality that everything needed to be kept perfect. And like if it wasn't, you needed to purchase a brand new one. I'm like, why? Why? No, stop it. Like, you just don't need to. You really don't. Okay. So the other thing to remember with ink smushing, wet on wet blends, wet on dry layers. So you do not want, if you want the texture, you know, and the smushy bits and everything, you need to dry between the layers so that they can do that. Because if you just keep pressing it in while it's still wet, it's all just going to keep blending into each other until you have just a big old blob of nothing. So, and then the other thing is this, I'll just take clean areas of my cloth. Wherever I've got some blobs that I'm just not feeling like drying. Good enough. Okay, so that was cracked pistachio. I want to add a bit of spun sugar, which also on my splotchy mess doesn't look like anything with it. It's there. It's there. And we'll do the same thing. Just press it in. Have you ever seen Dina Wakely's lives? Dina's awesome. And yeah, messy. So messy. And it works, you know? Yeah, I like Dina Wakely. Her style is very not like mine, you know, she's very mixed media and yeah, messy and all the things, but I love it. I'm slowly getting more and more into that, and it's fun. It's fun to just let go and see what happens and muck around and make a bloody mess. Who cares? You know, it's just paper. The only thing I remind people is when you're working with things like acrylic paint, the gouache, etc., anything with black soot in the distress line, like wash it off. Not to keep it clean and pristine, but just to keep your stuff from getting wrecked. But yeah, it's freeing. It really is. I'd lose my mind if I felt like I had to keep everything pristine. Yeah, it gets a little bit nuts. And I've been doing this 20 years. I've been making content for 15 of those years or however long it's been. And I've lost track of the amount of people like that have contacted me or that, you know, in forums, etc., like losing their minds over, you know, their stamp is no longer, you know, perfectly clear because they stamped it with red ink. That sort of like, and like losing their minds. And it's like, it's okay. It is okay, you know? But I don't know. And I don't know. I can't put blame on anyone. I don't know where that started, but it just became a weird thing. And we need to just stamp it out. Perfection's overrated, man. Things don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be clean. And I'm saying that as someone with like OCD. And I'm a neat freak. Which is funny. Because then you walk in here and it's like, you wouldn't know it. And he's snickering in the corner. Shut up, Chris.
No.
It's true, though. It's true. That's still, I take care of my things. You know, I'm very big on that. Like, I take care of it, but like, it gets stained. Stuff gets mucky. That's okay. But I still take care of it. I clean it, but yeah.
You're so nice
Okay.
to me.
Yeah, I'm so nice. I am very nice to you. So yeah, like I said, I'm keeping this somewhat light, but we're going to go into some darker colors. So I got some shaded lilac. Yeah, I buy him snacks. I buy him snacks. I take good care of him within reason. And yeah, I'm just very well aware of my own faults and my own mental headspace. It's a work in progress. Okay, so now we had some purple, very pastel. I do also understand when something is brand new, like you just got it, you know, brand new craft mat, brand new grip mat, you know, those sorts of things. And like the first time you stain it, it's not the best feeling. It's just like, oh, because there is something really satisfying when it's pristine. But then at the same time, once you get over that first, like the first time I stained this, I was like, oh, that sucks. But then I was like, go for it, you know, stain it more, make more of a mess. Who cares? Who cares? Like, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Chrissy. The first time I saw Tim Holtz conditioning his stamps with archival ink, making them black forever, was liberating. Exactly. You know, the only reason I don't do that as well is because I jump around so much with the types of inks I use. I literally considered it, you know, seeing him do that and like just puts like archival ink on his stamps and then just leave. Like, so when you see him use his stamps, they're always black. Doesn't matter, you know? But because I switch around so much with the types of inks I use and I like to use like really light colors, things like that, that doesn't work for me because it'll pick up, even though archival's permanent, like I switch between types of inks too and just all of the things. So I don't do it, but my stamps get stained. I don't care. You know, it's, yeah. And as Tim Holtz says, get over yourself. Like the first nick on a car door. Barb, I know. Where? Yep. Yep. It's such not a good thing, especially with something like that, because you kind of spent a bit more than crashing supplies on a vehicle. But yeah, I know that feeling too, and it really sucks. Those feelings I usually cry about, and then I get over it, and then whatever. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. Now, let's wipe up this one. Now we're going to go in with some Lumberjack Plaid, but I'm going to be very light-handed because Lumberjack Plaid is red and intense, and I don't want it to be like, wah, you know. would smushing like this work with oxides? Oh, heck yeah. I've got tons of videos. The only difference when you smush with oxides is because they're oxides and they have those pigments in it. They'll start to look like chalky. I have done videos in the past, and it's actually, I don't even know. It's been a long time. But a cool thing you can do with the oxides is you can ink smush on something like a glossy cardstock, which is not something I normally recommend. Actually, no, you can do it on this too. No, it works on this. Okay, so ink smush with your oxides. Do the exact same thing. Ink smush, dry between your layers. Because they're oxides and pigments, they're not going to sink in, like the pigments are going to sit on top of the cardstock, and it can end up looking really, really blurry in a sense. But when you're done and it's dry, take microglaze, like distressed microglaze, and I've shown this in videos in the past. It was something that Tim Holtz showed, and it is the neatest technique. And buff the microglaze onto it. It removes like the film, and it's the neatest friggin' thing, and you can see all the layers. I've shown it in videos. It's been a long time since I've done it. It's a neat technique. But today I'm using just plain old distress inks because I'm going to watercolor with these. But yeah, everything I'm doing you can do with oxides. It's just all it does is creates a different look. So we got. Now I'm going to try and use again like a lighter hand with this because it's red, So I don't want too much of this within reason. Okay, stop Amy before you like completely wreck it. Yeah, photo paper reacts differently though. You got to be careful sometimes with some techniques because photo paper has chemicals in it that are meant to react with, photo inks. So photo paper is very different than just glossy cardstock. However, it still works for a lot of stuff. It's just, it sometimes doesn't work quite the same because of the chemicals that are used to treat photo paper to make it do the things that it needs to do. But like everything though, experiment. Because like there's so many people that have, packs of photo paper sitting around for 5 million years. Try it. See what happens. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've done that technique. It's fun. Okay, I'm going to stop here with the red because it will take over this entire thing.
Looks like somebody spelled strawberry jam.
Strawberry jam? Yeah, why not? I'm okay with that. Okay. And you will get messy. I actually didn't get that messy, but I'm also using mostly light inks. It wasn't until I got to the Lumberjack Plaid that it actually started getting inky. That's another thing, like people not wanting to get ink on their hands. I get it. But at the same time, folks, you can just wash your hands. Most of it comes off. It comes off quite quickly. You can also wear gloves for all the things. That works too. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. I'm just going to pick this up with my cloth because I just don't care. We're going to be doing it. We're going to add splatter to this. Like, of course we are. You guys know. You guys know. Okay. So, there's our background. Looking like whatever. Yep. I'm happy with this. We're good. So we don't need the craft mat anymore. We're done with that. Okay. So we got our background. Now I want to 3D emboss said background. And this is the Pinnacle Hearts embossing folder from SSS Stamp. I've used this in multiple videos already. It's become like one of my favorites. And I am just going to run this through my die cut machine with this folder. There we go. So for the Anna Griffin Empress machine and Simon's says stamps, 3D embossed fillers, because it varies by brand. I just need one cutting plate and the folder, and then I run it through. They are finger condoms, Christy. I can't use those things. I just rolling one of those onto my finger and I'm like, like I can't. And he's giggling in the corner because yeah, we've got the mentality of a couple of like 12-year-olds, and I just no. Anyway, so right now it just looks like this. Nothing crazy, you know, nothing life changing. But this is where the technique comes in. So first off, a glue stick. Who'd have thunk? I didn't even think. But this is one of the times where I pat myself on the back that I stuck these in the drawer, because I've mentioned this. I get, you know, a lot of times Simon sends these with their like monthly card kits, and I'm always like, because I'm not a fan of glue sticks. I used to use them back in the day. This was like the only thing I used to use, the yellow ones, you know, when I first started card making, you know, little tiny baby me that was like 20 years old or whatever, and had no money and no nothing. And I had just little glue sticks, you know, my little cheap cardstock, and I would glue everything together. I have grown since then. You know, I've matured. I have standards when it comes to these. But I'm glad I didn't toss these, because it comes in handy. And when you see this, and I don't take credit for this technique. I did not think of this. I've seen other makers do it. I have no idea who to give credit to. I know Nina Marie Trapani, who designs for Simon Says Stamp, has shown this, and other makers have shown this too. But you need a glue stick, and then you need foil, and you specifically need Deco Foil for this. Not because there's two types of foil in the card making industry. There's hot foil, like the glimmer hot foil, meant to use with the plates, you know, in the glimmer hot foil machine, and you press it and da. That stuff is heat activated. Not the same. You want Deco Foil. And they make tons. I have links to Deco Foil. I have links to specifically Simon's Deco Foil. It's all made by like Thermoweb. So they you know, Gina K's got some, Pink and Maine has some, but it's all made by the same brand. It's Deco Foil. And I have like piles of it. And this is the stuff that is meant to work with like toner printed things, you know, which has become very big. I've dabbled in that a little bit here and there over the years. It's not my favorite thing to do, the toner stuff. I'll do it every once in a while, but I'm just like, I can pass on it. But I have like, this is nothing. I have an entire bin. I have almost every color of Deco Foil. I have so much. It's gross. And I never use it. So this, I was like, oh, well. So yeah, these are the Simon colors, which are all just like your basic metallics. And again, I'll link to them. Like there's bronze and rose gold, yellow, copper, orange, and more rose gold. I have so much of this. And then I have like extra packs of it. Anyway, we're going to use the yellow because it's it's gold. It's gold. Okay. So that's what I'm going to use, because I also have, again, like lots of it. So I got my foil. You know, nothing crazy here. And then this is the simplest bloody thing. You just take your glue stick, and because this was 3D embossed, it doesn't have to be. You can just like, you know, but because this is 3D embossed, I'm just going to like swipe glue onto here, and it's just going to pick up the raised edges. That's all I'm going to do. Like, I'm not going to be neat about it. I don't care. I don't care. That's it. That's all you do. And then you just press it on. And then we'll just go like this. And just kind of like press it into that glue. Just like that. And because it's glue, it does need a little bit of time to dry. But because I'm impatient and we're live, and I already tested this to see if it would work. I'm getting glue like literally everywhere. I'm just going to speed it up with my heat tool. You don't need to do this. You can just let it dry. Are you laughing at me?
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm impatient? I'm always impatient. Patience is not a virtue I possess at like all. The worst. It's the worst. Watching on a cruise ship off of Whitsunday Island, Australia. Well, fine then, if you just had to rub it in. Like, must be nice. You don't have to let it sit a while. Yeah, no, I wouldn't let it sit before applying the foil because you don't want the glue to like dry, you know? Okay, this is just, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this? How freaking cool is that? And how stupidly easy was that? So yeah, a great way to use up glue sticks, because again, I got a stack of them, and piles and piles and piles of deco foil. And yes, you could take this piece, you know, and just coat. Like I would take this glue stick and just cover an entire piece of paper and just press this into it, and then trim it down. And there's another like super cool like background. But yeah, and then I'll just kind of use my finger to just press in if there's any little bits. Also, in case there's any like bits of glue that I might have got, you know, wherever. Yeah, yeah. How stupid cool and fun is that? Yeah, you know? So don't be surprised if you see me doing this more and more now that, you know, I've actually physically done it, shown it, explained it, yada yada. I was like, oh, I have so many glue sticks and piles and piles and piles of foil. So I'm taking my glue sticks back from my granddaughters. Yeah. You only need one. One will get you, you know. So yeah. Like, and again, you can also do this like if you want like crisp, you can do things like score tape, red line tape. You can put down lines of tape. I've done that in the past. It's not my favorite again, but you can do that too. Like really any adhesive within reason will work. The glue stick is just bloody convenient. So we got that. And then, of course, we need to add some splatter to it because that's just what we do around here. So let's add some splatter, you know. So we're gonna add some splatter to the background, just like so. Do you think it would lift more if you just let it sit? I'm not sure. I don't understand what you mean. Like, oh, if you want like more coverage, you just like I only apply, this is how I applied the glue. I don't want perfect hearts. I didn't want that at all. I wanted this messy look. In fact, I ended up getting more foil on here because I pressed too hard with the glue stick, but I don't care. It's still fun. Yeah, you just need to use more glue. But then no matter what, this is not ever going to be a perfect technique, you know, because it's just you guys saw me. I just swiped the glue stick onto there. So we're gonna add some black splatter. So we're gonna do this, and then we'll add a bit of black gouache, just like so. And then my little fan brush, and a bit of water. Again, just like so. Okay. I want some like blobs of splatter. Come here. There we go. Yes. Just a little bit of splatter. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna clean off the brush. Clean off the brush. Because you don't. Oof. Yeah. Really clean off. I need to like change out my watercolor water because it is vile and disgusting, but again, I don't really care. And clean off my palette, which is very stained. That's okay. Ain't gonna hurt anybody. The black gouache and black soot distress paint, etc. is very staining. That's why I say to clean it up, because it just, yeah, is what it is. Don't really care. Okay, so there's our background, and I got like black all over me. That's fine. Okay. I've done the same technique with liquid glue. I let it get tacky. Yeah, if you're doing this with like liquid adhesive, that's where, yeah, that's where you're going to get into a little more needing to figure out the timing of, and because it'll depend on the type of liquid glue you're using. And yes, you would want it to dry up a little bit, because otherwise, depending on how you've applied the liquid glue, when you go to press down the foil, it's going to press that glue. You know, I've done it in the past. I'm pretty sure I've done videos on it, and it's a little more finicky. Whereas with the glue stick, it's just like slap it on. It works. I'm much more happy with the. Oh, I'm getting black ink, like black squash all over the place. If black is too contrasting, what gray or brown, whatever you want. That's why I show using just white gouache and tinting it with inks. That's what I would do. But when is black too contrasting? When is black splatter not appropriate? Really, I've used it on everything, but yeah, it would just depend on your color palette whether you wanted to do gray or a brown. With this, I would not do gray or brown. It would just, I wanted the black. So, okay. Yeah, don't worry. I ain't gonna drink it. It's gross. Like this is the jar. Like it's nasty. Like it is. The special water is, and if you could actually see the bottom, because I don't want to spill that, but it's like all. There you go. You can see it on the face. Like look at that. That's just gross. All the like pigments from everything have settled to the bottom. Like this thing is disgusting. It's vile. It's vile. Although those mason jars, I use mason jars like for my smoothies and stuff in the morning. And back in the day, there was a couple times where I would just grab the jar and I was about to go, and realized it was my nasty watercolor water. So now I keep it on the other side of me so that I don't reach for it. I'm not going to touch it. And Chris is always tempted to drink the forbidden water. And one of these days, I'm just going to let him. Serves him right. It's going to be disgusting.
I've always wanted to see the inside.
It's not going to give you superpowers, and you do not need to see the inside of an ER, because good lord. Been there enough, thank you. I don't want to go back. Not fun. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, stamps. Okay, so we're just going to let this like fully dry. It's almost already dry because it's not, But there's our crazy background with texture and all the things. It's just fun. It's just fun. So, okay. This, I already had kind of planned what I was going to do. So I had like this all like laid out. This is what I mentioned earlier. This is on sale. This is the Always and Forever set. And I spotted it in the sale category and I linked to it because the stamp set with the dies, and it's 2 big die sets to do all this because this stamp is enormous. So there's this die set and this die set, but this bundle is like half price. It's dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap. So yeah, and the thing that really caught me is one, I like this font, but like the wafer dies, how they cut out, like they went to extra effort with this to cut out like around all the things. And I was like, love. And then this one comes with an extra wafer die. Yeah, this great big scallop like heart. So you could use this to make like a heart shaped card, scallop heart shaped card, and then this will fit in there. I'm not doing that today, but I was like, that's a pretty sweet deal, man. But I'm going to use the outline wafer dies and that wafer die, and then some of the work. Like I have plans. We'll see. I got like so much stuff just thrown on my desk, and yeah, I did this. Okay. I need Well, one thing for sure, if he tries it once, he's never gonna ask to try to drink. I know. I know. One of these days, literally, I'm just gonna let him do it, and he's gonna regret it. Like, good lord. Okay, so I got the stamps I want to use. Gonna stick. I think I can fit all of these onto one. Yeah. Okay. Because these I'm gonna heat emboss, so we'll set those aside. We'll come back to that. But the rest I can fit on here. Yes. Yes, I can. Okay. I was originally going to heat emboss these before I like watercolor them, and the watercoloring is super easy. Anyone will be able to do it, trust me. But I think I'm just going to stamp these in black. It'll go with the black splatter. The amount of times I've literally matched things to the black splatter. You know, the thought process. I just want to make sure I space everything out enough that there's space for the wafer dyes so that I'm not, there we go. That works. Give everything a nice margin. Okay. So, since I'm going to do that, I'm just going to stamp this with my Nocturne ink. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. FYI, those cups of nasty water do get moldy. Oh yeah, they do. I change mine. I rinse mine out very frequently because I use it all the time because I'm splattering all the time and watercoloring all the time. But yeah, if you leave something like this to sit, it will get nasty because there's just stuff in it. So like bacteria overload, gross. So I always give it a really good. I scrub mine out for the most part. I rinse it and then scrub it out because it gets pigments in it. Thank you, Twyla. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, standing containers of water with stuff in them, clean them. Don't let it sit there. You know, so I give mine a good rinse out. I'll be doing that today after this live. It needs a clean out because it's gross. It's just gross, man. Gross. Okay. So we're gonna ink this up with Nocturne ink, which I didn't add a link to, but it's just Nocturne ink. Same old stuff I've used a million times before. And then I'm stamping this also onto distress watercolor paper. Like that. Lovely. Lovely. So we've got that. And then I'm just gonna wipe that off. Dirtly doos. Okay. Good enough. Good enough. So I'm going to stick these back onto the packaging so that I don't lose them, because we do not want that. Burp, derp, and derp. And then, okay, got my sentiments. We'll get to that later. I got my little images, just like that. And then to do the watercoloring, I am going to use the exact, let me move all this over, the exact same inks I did to ink smush so that everything is, you know, coordinating. I don't need that. Let's get that out of the way. So I always keep a cloth off to the side. I'm going to spray this cloth with a bit of water. This is just to wipe my brush off in between colors. I'm just using my go-to, which is almost empty, of course. Distress water brush. You can use paintbrush and water, that's fine. I like this little water brush. I've had it for years. This is one of the few times where, with a few of my things, and I've talked about this, I use distilled water in this. I use distilled water in my spray bottles. I get anything that is sitting for long periods of time, I put distilled water in because, and we've had discussions and chats about this in past lives, because again, water's got stuff in it, just regular tap water, and it will yellow over time like regular tap water. The bottles of, your spray bottles, is it the end of the world? No. It's fine. But because it's something that sits, and I just keep refilling it, but it sits for months and months and months, sort of a thing. I use distilled water. I just get a bottle of it, and I refill all my things with distilled water. But the jar of watercolor water, that's just tap water because, I dump it out. I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. And I mention that because I've had people ask, like, what's the difference when watercoloring? It doesn't matter. When I'm actually watercoloring, like, I could use just regular tap water. It's not going to matter because the water is going to dry. It's just going to evaporate, dry. It's gone. It doesn't matter. But for stuff that sits for forever, I use distilled water. It just keeps any chance of the greeblies from happening. Okay, I need my palette again. I could also use my work surface, but I'm not gonna. Okay. And then my inks. Okay. So I'm gonna use the same inks. So I've got spun sugar. Just gonna smush a little bit of that on here. I'm gonna use all four. Shaded lilac, spun sugar, and cracked pistachio, and a bit of the lumberjack plaid. I'm not going to need very much of the cracked pistachio. So we'll just smush a bit of that on there. And then a bit of lumberjack plaid. Won't need much of that because that is a very intense color. Oh, and I also pulled out weathered wood for the little, I assume that's supposed to be like a dove. I pulled out a little weathered wood for that guy. Okay. So for the actual watercoloring, like I said, this is going to be really simple. Let me zoom in a bit. Like, anybody can do this. I mean it. So let's just pick up a bit of cracked pistachio. And then we're just going to fill in the greenery with it. Very, very simple. That's it. That's it, folks. Boop, boop, boop. There. And then the greenery on this little piece. Same thing. Add little bits. There we go. Hello, Jen. And I'll go back because I had a little more water on that. There we go. Just darken that a bit so you can see it. So we did that. And then for my little flowers, I'm going to do some with the pink. We'll do some pink, some purple, and maybe a few red. And I'm just slapping the color on, honestly. Nothing crazy. Anybody can do this. Doop, doop, doop. That's it. And because these colors are so light, they don't show up very much on camera, but they're there. And you'll be able to see it at the end. There we go. So we start with that. Now we'll go in and do some shaded lilac. Let's kind of scribble that on. Let's do this one too. I'm kind of avoiding the edges just so that things don't bleed into each other. Scribble that on. Do. Like that. Just really quick, really simple. Anybody can do it. You make everything look so easy. This is easy. Trust me, anybody can do this. Like, I'm just scribbling, Like, just the way these images are drawn, and they're just kind of loose, and I think it just works. Scribbling all that little color. Just like that. Now the red is where we need to be a little more careful, because red. And Lumberjack Plaid is very dark. So I'm barely picking up like any of this with my brush and having just a really light hand with it. Because again, it's red and red just will overpower. And of all these colors, this is the most intense color and I don't want it to be like raw red. So just a light hand, just a little scribble, just like that. We'll do the bow red too. Go back in. And this is why I keep the cloth. You can have like a piece of paper towel, cloth, whatever works for you, on hand because I use it to wipe my brush off in between colors. Or if you're working with a water brush or if you're familiar with a water brush, they're finicky. Even this one is. This is the least finicky of all the water brushes, and I've tried a million of them over the years. I don't squeeze. You don't squeeze it when you're working with it because if you squeeze it, it's gonna push water through the barrel. You don't want that. But you'll tell. You'll be able to tell. Like right now, can I? There we go. See the like there's water, coming out of it. And after a while, that will stop and it'll just start getting dry. And when it gets dry, that's when I squeeze it. Not over my project. I'll squeeze it and then usually a blob of water will come out and I immediately will wipe off that excess and then continue painting. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, just really, really simple watercolor. And distress inks are a fun way to practice because, again, they're very water reactive. They move especially on distress watercolor paper because, they're meant to work together. So they play nice. And I recommend to experiment with it. Just play with it. Get used to it. Get used to the lack of control. Because the biggest thing to know with watercolor is the biggest struggle is controlling the amount of water. And the more you play with it, the more used to it you get, the more comfortable you get. Let's paint this heart. I'm going to paint the heart green just because I can. So we'll use the cracked pistachio for that. Let's go in there. Add it there too. Keep it very just light and airy. Let it do its thing. It's like painting happy little trees. Just be calm and be chill. Which is probably shocking some people right now because Amy's usually like, what the F? Raw! Bob Ross, I am not. Not at all. Although really, when Bob Ross is beating the devil out of his brush, I was like, I identify with that. Anyway, so you can go back in, add another little layer. I'll add another layer to the spun sugar here. Just gives it a little more intensity. Just a smidge. Nothing crazy. So we'll add all of that. I've gone outside the lines in some spots. I don't care. This is very loose, very simple. Just like that. Very, very simple. So then, for my little birdie here, I'm taking a bit of the weathered wood. I've watered it down quite a bit because I'm not using much. In fact, I'm going to water it down even more. So wipe off my brush. There we go. Because I don't want much of this. I want it to be very light. Because doves are technically white, but they're not, stark white. So we'll just add a bit of this to him. And then, yeah, very heavy with the water this time. Just to soften that. So it's just more of a hint of a shadow, like barely anything. Barely anything. I can take in a bit more. Add a smidge more there. And again, pull it out with more water. Keep it soft. I'm happy with that. I'm fine with that. It just needs to be simple. There we go. I would have never thought of this color palette. It's a fun color palette. I don't know. I was in a still sort of a Valentine, pink and red, and then I was like, "Oh, a pop of mint green is always nice with it." And then I was like, "Ooh, purple." I always like adding purple to stuff. Like, you just do whatever works. So for the heart, I'll do the Lumberjack plaid. With this, I'll be a little bit more careful because it's kind of larger. There we go. And then I can go in with a bit more while it's still wet. And just kind of scribble that on there. Nothing too crazy. Just drop that in. There we go. And I can even do the same thing. I can go back now. Take a little more of the shaded lilac. Add a bit more. Just another layer of color to add just a smidge, I'll just give everything a little more interest, a little more texture. Just like that. Nothing too crazy. Same thing with these guys. Pick up a bit more of that color. Slap it on there. And then I'll even do the same thing with the red. Just again, being a little more conservative with it because this is just a very intense red. It's just going in and adding a little bit more. Just a smidge. There we go. Doop. Doop. And that was it. So, that's what we've got. That's what we've got. Super, super simple. Really. Simple watercoloring. Literally, anybody can do this. You can do it. I have faith. It takes practice. So, yeah. Always remember that. Don't compare your, if you've never done it before, don't compare yourself to me. One, I'm not the greatest at it, but also don't compare your, day one to somebody's day 5,000. Like, I've been mucking around with watercolor now for, gosh, more than a decade. Yeah, well over a decade at this point. And, so I've experimented a lot. I've practiced a lot. I've done a lot. So I'm much more familiar with it. But watercolor, more than anything, it just takes practice. That's it. You just got to play with it. So I'm just going to quickly speed up the drawing. And yeah, Distress inks, watercolor so nicely because it's just the nature of the product. I've shown watercoloring with many dye inks. Pretty much almost every dye ink I've ever had, I've done watercoloring with. And oxides work wonderfully as well. I've done bajillion videos using oxides. The Distress watercolor pencil. There's a million things on the market that you can watercolor with. They all just produce slightly different results, and they all work great. They all work great. So yes, I could have done this with the Distress watercolor pencils. Totally. 100%. I just wanted to keep it simple and just use the same inks that I smushed with. So there was the background smushing with them, using the exact same colors then to watercolor. So they'll go together. It works. It works. Now we just got to die cut this. So it's dry. It's dry enough. Should work. That's the thing you always want to remember is if you're going to die cut anything that you've done either ink smushing, watercoloring, whatever, anything that you've made wet, whether it's ink, water, whatever, you want to make sure it's dry. It needs to be dry before you run it through a die cut machine with a die. It's different if you're if it's still wet and you run it through with an embossing folder. Great, that actually might help it emboss better. But if you're going to die cut it, you want it to be dry. Because if it's still wet when you run it through, there's a good chance that when you go to take it off, it will just shred your background. So, I've set 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I'm still working on updating my Distress watercolor pencil palette. I did a video on like the original one that I did. It's on my YouTube channel. I need the dies. I was like, what am I doing? And then they ended up releasing the set 4, 5, and 6, like completely completing the palette. So I'm completely redoing them. I have one of the 2 finished. I have to do it in small bursts because those that know and have seen that video, like I shave them with a pencil sharpener and I put the shavings in a palette. But the act of shaving all those pencils, it kills my hands, and I have hand issues because I've got family history of arthritis and stuff like that. So I can only do like a little bit at a time, and then I have to take a break. And some of the breaks have been like several months. I'll get to it. And that's also why I haven't used them, because it's like also that OCD part of me is like, they need to be complete before I can use them. Anyway, like everything, do as I say, not as I do. All right, just enjoy the things, use the things, have fun with them. So the die set has the outline. This, again, the bundle has both die sets, which is sweet. But specifically this one has 2 wafer dies. So you can choose whether or not you want them to be, you can just have it as a panel, because then you could stamp like a sentiment or whatever on here. Or you can use both. So then it's like a frame. And then if you really want to, you could make this into a shaker. That'd be amazing. I'm not doing that today. I'm all over the place. So there's options. Just thought I would point that out. So I'm going to use both because I want it just as a frame. So I'm going to line these up. Just like so. Yep. And then there's this one for this guy. Again, just like so. It's got him lined up. And then with this one, I need that wafer die. I'm pretty sure that's the one. Yes. Okay. And then that one. And we're just gonna get that into place. Yes. And then just to be safe, after, you know, I'll just tape these guys just so that it doesn't shift when I run it through my machine, because that would kind of suck. It doesn't happen very often, but it would happen when I'm live. We all know it. We all know it. The other 2, I'm not worried about those ones. Okay. There we go. And we're going to run that through. Every Sunday I fold my laundry while watching Amy. That's funny. You guys are funny. Okay. I had schmutz on my die cut plate. Alright. Get off of there. Get the wafer die. See, there was this cute little frame. It's so cute. Okay. So we have the frame, and we got a birdie so that we can put a bird on it, and then that part of the frame. Okay. So I want to put the right wafer dies back on the packaging. Dope. And then we'll put these guys in their respective packaging. Again, so that I don't lose them, because, you know, that always sucks. So stick those guys in there. I will revisit the other ones because we need to do the sentiments, because I did not do that ahead of time because, as always, I am flying by the seat of my pants and I don't have enough hours in the day. Okay, just go in your home, all right? There we go. Okay, so got that. Yeah. So for the sentiment, I need Schoolhouse Red cardstock. That was the plan. Do I have a scrap of Schoolhouse Red cardstock? Not quite sure I have one that's big enough. That is not Schoolhouse Red. Oh, that one might work. Will that one be, where's the sentiment? Will that work? Because if it does, that will be awesome. Get over here. Oh yeah. Always check the scraps first so that I do not cut down cardstock I don't need to cut down. I got splatter on the stamp. I don't really care. It's fine. It's fine. Who cares? Who cares, man? Okay, so I don't want that one. Doodly doo. I need a bigger boat. That piece I'm going to save, like always. I will put it, where's the package? I keep all the larger pieces of the, because you never know. Small little stamp, die cut, whatever. Stick it in there. And we'll be good to go with that. And then I think I want a gold. Yeah, I think I want a gold heat emboss this. How do I want to do this? Yeah, I want this gold. I think it'll look pretty. So we are going to heat emboss this. Let's put these guys over there. Let's get my palette out of the way. I don't need that no more. Oh, I was going to be like, ooh, you brought snacks, but it's those nasty peanut butter pretzel things. Gross. Gross. Not a fan.
So
anyway, they are so dry. It's so gross. All right. I've got Schoolhouse Red cardstock, one of my favorites. And my sentiment. And then we need to use... do you clean your magnetic plates? Not really. I will when they get really bad. Did I talk about this? I don't remember anymore. Yeah. When it gets really gummed up, like mine are, I use my plates, and I've talked about this, like both sides. Technically, in the instruction manual for the Empress machine, it says not to cut into your plates. However, Anna Griffin herself, whose name is on the machine, cuts into her magnet. And I didn't do it for the longest time, and I kind of recommended against doing it. Meh. And then I was like, whatever, I'll try it. I way prefer cutting into the magnet. Is what it is. But regardless of what machine I use my plates until there's nothing left of them. Literally. Like, I've used them until the point where they lose integrity and they snap in half. That's fun. Anyway. Every once in a while, when they get really bad, whether it's the magnet plate or a die cut plate, whichever, when they get really bad and they're just like full of schmutz, yeah, I'll take it to the sink and I use a hot water and a bit of soap and a scrub brush, and I will scrub because it'll remove a lot of the little tiny paper fibers. So yeah, I don't. Right now, as bad as this is, it's not bugging me. It'll get to a point where it starts to bug me. Like there's just like little pieces just everywhere, and I'm like, ah, and that's when I will clean it. But other than that, no, I don't bother. So, yeah. Okay. Anti-static powder. As always, you got to use the anti-static powder. That helps keep the embossing powder from going where it doesn't belong, because you only want it to cling to the stamped image. So anti-static powder. Clear embossing ink, there it is. I don't even bother putting my clear embossing ink. And have I refilled mine? No. I need to refill this. Mine is getting dry, but I'll get to it one of these days. I'll get to it. And then gold embossing powder. So we're gonna ink this up with clear embossing ink. And because my ink pad is not very juicy, I'm going to stamp it multiple times, but I'm also going to stamp this multiple times because more layers of the sticky ink just means that, the embossing powder is going to cling to this. And I'm also not reefing on my lid. This is a very delicate sentiment, very fine lines to it. There we go. So we got that. And then I'm going to coat that with Simon's Gold embossing powder. There we go. Tap off the excess. Yep. So he's good to go. And then we're going to melt this with the heat tool, which is the best part because it's like magic. And this should show up on camera. There we go. That will never get old to me. And look at it. It is like perfection. Chris. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's a big shot. It's a big investment. Are you happy with it? I love the Empress. I do. The only downside to the Empress is it cannot accommodate like the better press and the glimmer hot foil machine. That's, to me, that's the only downside. Yeah, I love the Empress. The other thing to note that I will point out with specifically because they came out with the new version of the Empress, and that's what I have linked to because that's the only one available now. Like they don't sell. I have the original Empress. I don't have the new one. Actually, I'm going to need this in a second. And the only thing that I noticed with the new one, the big is you get the big plates with it, which I got to be careful about this. They're enormous. Okay, let's set that aside. Okay, so these are your standard size cutting plates. I'm not even sure how these are listed with the Anna Griffin stuff, but these are what I call standard size. These are very similar to like all die cut machines. You know, they're your typical 7 by 9 roughly inches. Like these are standard. With the new Empress Elite, you get the big plates. That's these. They're freaking huge. Now, they're great. They're great, but they're enormous. Just FYI. You know, I do like them. I had a video go up earlier today. I had a video that went up at like 11 a.m. my time. And I used the big plates because you can put a full sheet. Because like this is like 13 inches by 8 by 13 roughly. Like these plates are enormous, but it's nice because you can put a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock and die cut the entire, they're great. It's just, they are big. They're big plates. So that is the only, like, I don't know. Yeah. So that's the only thing to note when, for those getting the new one, if they've never used Empress before, is you get the big daddy plates with it, and it doesn't come, because I don't think the big plates have the rubber mat. However, I think, because don't quote me, because I didn't look all this up before going live. If you buy the set, because it comes with everything. I think the set of normal plates comes with everything, like the 2 cutting plates, the metal shim, magnet, and this rubber mat. Because this I like, because I use this to do embossing with stencils, wafer dies, etc., etc. Because I don't think the big plate set has a rubber mat. Because I don't have one sitting there, and I don't think it came with one. Because I bought my plates separately. Because again, I have the original Empress. So yeah. It's just, that is something to just be aware of, is the Empress Elite comes with those monster size plates, which are very overwhelming. They come in handy, but I don't use them unless I'm doing like a big die set, like the one I used earlier in the earlier video, things like that, because most stuff works with the normal size plates. So that's my thoughts on that. Where is there it is. Ugh. Okay. I'm going to turn off my space heater. I'm starting to sweat doing these lives. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, just a microfiber cloth to buff away the excess anti-static powder. Just doop, doop, doop. And it removes it all. And now we're just left with this like fabulous sentiment, which we're going to die cut with the normal size die cut plates. Yeah. The hinges on my MISTI are loose and I feel like they might break soon. Ooh, that's not good. Do you know if you can get a replacement? You can contact them. I don't think there are replacements, which sucks. Because I don't know. You could contact. It depends on what MISTI you have. because this is the improved one. Because the original MISTI. Oh, I have an original. I can show the difference. Okay, so this was the like OG MISTI, and they were just they're just plastic. Like the piece that goes into the hinge on the original ones is just plastic. And I literally same thing. I had one of them. I don't know which MISTI, but one of mine came loose at one point, and that little piece like came out, and I was able to get it back in. It took me a while, but considering like these are not cheap tools, and especially back when this happened, this was years and years ago, I could not afford to replace my MISTI. So I was able to just very carefully like sort of bang it back into place. Anyway, with the improved like new one, it's metal in there. And the hinges are much beefier than they used to be. Like these ones you can see like they're just small. It's just a small, little thing. The new one is very much like beefed up, a lot more sturdy. But as far as actual like replacement, you would have to contact them and see. I honestly have no idea. Um, Yeah. I've heard other people had issues and like some of theirs have broken, things like that. And I'm just like, I try to be very careful, after all my whole talk about just like, let things get stained. Like, yeah, but I still take care of my things. So I always store my MISTI like this way. I don't store it on like the hinges. That's just been habit. But also to just protect, like, so that the hinges aren't getting banged. Like if I was storing it this way, So I always store mine upright like this. And yeah, I definitely take care of these because I don't get sent things like my die cut machine, all that. Like no one sends me tools like this. Um, so yeah, I take care of them because they're and again shipping to Canada, all the things like these were hefty investments. So I'm not putting it on because I'm going to use it. I got to die cut this first though. Okay. But yeah, you could contact the company and see. I would hope that they could, but I don't know if they've ever provided like replacement pieces. Um, do, do. I want the Empress, but the normal. Oh, they still make the normal size plates. The Empress machine itself, there's only the big Empress, like the normal size Empress, which is the big one, and the Empress Mini. There's just the two machines. That's it. The plates, though, there are multiple plate sizes. There's those big ones I showed, the normal size ones, there's the mini ones, and then there's long ones. Like there's kind of a ridiculous amount of plate sizes, in my opinion. But yeah, I have been very happy. And in the normal size MISTI, you can use the mini MISTI plates. I have them off the side. These are the mini MISTI plates. They're just little. These are technically 4.25 by 26, so like 8 inches. You cannot, in my opinion, use like a A2 because I have people ask that a lot. It's like, oh, could I die cut like background dies, like A2 size background dies that are 4.25 inches? No, like the cutting edge, if you try, you would have to line it up perfectly straight, but even then the cutting edge is right on the edge of the plates. You're not going to get a good cut. It's not going to work. But these will work in the big MISTI machine. I don't really use my mini MISTI. It's kind of underneath stuff now. But when I do want to use smaller plates, I just run them through the big machine. It works. It works just fine. Okay. How do you keep track of all those plates? I have the doomahickey, which I can link it to you guys now. Simon Says Stamp carries the turntable now. I'm kind of bitter about that because I paid a fortune to have mine. Like Simon has way better shipping rates than most. Just wait, I could get the intern to do it, but he's busy eating snacks.
I'm watching.
Do they have it listed? I'm not even sure how they have it listed. It's not even on my Linky Doomahickey. Give me a sec. I came across it the other day. Oh, it's not under. What do they call it on here? Oh, do they actually call it that? Lazy Susan?
Maybe it's called a doomahickey.
Yeah, it's like, look up the doomahickey thing. Oh, it's out of stock, but oh, they do call it that. Okay, here, I will add a link to it. You can get it when it's back in stock. It's not cheap. I will say that. Even as is, it's not cheap. Will this actually show up? There, the intern can post a link. It's out of stock right now, of course. Because I'm sure when other people spied it, they bought it up the minute it came. I have that, but that will, you guys can at least look at it. That's what I have my machine sitting on top of, is that unit. I can't show it because I can't move my camera. But that's how I have my machine is sitting on top of that, and it's got about this. It's about that high in the middle of it, and that's what I keep all my plates in, is that. And now my plates are messed up because I was like, okay, I don't want that. I don't need the rubber mat. There we go. So I keep all my plates in that. And then these are the ones I use 99% of the time. It's just your standard size plates. The big ones I use every once in a while. I used it in the previous video. And then the mini ones I use occasionally, but honestly I use these all the time. So now we got die cut this. And this is going to be interesting because it is a very tight cut, which you'll see once I've got it. So we're just gonna see what happens, and if it doesn't work, I'll make a jig and I'll make it work. But if this doesn't die cut properly, I'll make a jig and I'll show you. I showed that in a video, one of my lives back in the winter, making a little jig to line up the stamps with the dies. Okay. There we go. It's out of stock already. Well, they started carrying it like a while ago. I had noticed it, and then I just forgot about it because I already own one. So I was like, oh, close enough. I'm happy. Close enough. So, like, just a hair off on the one end, but that's fine. I wasn't kidding though. This one is delicate. Get out of there. There's one teeny little spot that I didn't quite. There we go. Good enough. Like, I meant it when I said, like, this cuts, like, right up. Like, even in between. I was kind of surprised with this set how the extra effort they went into to take all the little bits out. Oh. And of course, it's when I'm live. I should have run this through with a little paper shim. That's fine. There we go. Where's my pokey tool? I need a pokey tool. There we go. Yeah, that cuts out so, I love it. I love it. It cuts out so close. So fancy. In fact, I'm going to die cut a second one to adhere behind that because I ain't fiddling with foam nothing on a sentiment like that. Screw that. Who's got time for that? I don't. Or patience. I don't. All right. Here we go. And of course, this one just die cut perfectly. Why? Why are you being silly? Scrape off all the little bits there. Okay, so we got that. Poke out the little tiny bit there. We can adhere those together. I probably want a third. Do I have another scrap? Hello, Kelly. Do I have another scrap that'll work? I do. Oh, I do. Perfection. Love that for me. Let's die cut one more. And yes, this is a very kind of lovey-dovey Valentine, which I don't normally make. And it's kind of funny because this is a card I give away the cards I make during my live. So whoever wins this is going to be my Valentine. I don't think the unpaid intern is going to be jealous or anything at all, you know. Although I haven't made him a card yet at all. I'll get to it. I always make him more punny Valentines anyway.
I keep them all.
He does keep them all. It's kind of cute. Okay. So yeah, whoever wins this though, you get to be my Valentine. Just don't make it weird, okay? Because I make it weird enough on my own. There we go. Okay. Those are cut. Don't need that. Yeah, because I was literally going to use the "Will you be my" stamp. Will you be my Valentine? I guess by accepting this card from me, you are accepting that. Now, how do I want to...
Legal documents will soon follow.
Yeah, legal documents. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Legal documents for the recipient or for me?
Yes.
We may be getting divorced, even... Well, we're not actually married, but anyway. Hey, you are consenting by being my unpaid intern. I think we're all good here. How do I want to do this little companion sentiment? I think I just want it to be, I think just black stamped on that. I can use that little scrap I had. That'll work. That'll work. Okay. We'll just take that and we'll take a little block. And then we'll just go dirt. And where's that black ink? That is right here. Do I want to use black? Do I want to use black or do I want to use purple? No, I'll use the black ink. Let's use the black ink. Keep it simple, Amy. Don't overthink it. So we'll do that. Yep. There we go. And then wipe that guy off so I don't get black ink all over everything. Been there, done that. There we go. Stick those back on the packaging so I don't lose them. And then for that guy, I'm pretty sure the coordinating wafer dies don't do the little sentiment. No, they don't. I didn't think so. I will just use a little sentiment label wafer die for that. So we can stick that onto here. And then we can tape that into place. Yes. And then run that through my die cut machine. There. And then I can run that through. Okay. So then we got this one. Can you add Simon's sentiment labels to the list?
Sure.
Because I didn't like them, but then I can edit that later. Click off the second, yeah, and then do it again. Simon sentiment labels. I'm gonna train this unpaid intern, man. Okay, so he has that. And then I talked about this on a live. I don't eyeball this with my scissors because I was all like, I can't cut a straight line to save my life. And then in the live, I did it perfectly straight. And I'm like, man, that never happens. I just use my paper cutter. Like that. And like that. Boop, boop. Okay, so we got that cut. Also, I'm going to blast this with my heat tool because the Nocturne ink does take a while to dry and I'm not, watercoloring or anything. And when it comes to sentiments, I should have clear heat embossed this because I smear it. You can't tell on camera, but I've smeared it everywhere. good enough. And then, okay, so we got that. We can stack these guys up while I'm doing all this other stuff, because then this can just let the glue dry while I mess around with the rest of the card. First off, I have to unclog my glue because do I put the lids on my glue? No. Okay.
You have to unclog it every week.
I have to unclog it multiple times a day. I'm in here 7 days a week, and I don't put the lid on this ever. So then when it sits, it clogs. I'm used to it. I don't really care. It's just habit now to grab a pin, unclog, move on about my day. Doot, 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 doot. So got that one. Stick that onto that one. So purple tape. The purple tape I've linked, it's this. I remove a lot of the unnecessary language. That's what I have linked, is this, the Crafter's Easy C. I just delete a lot of the frou-frou stuff, but when you click on any of my links, it takes you to the like product, and you'll see. I delete a lot of that extra language in the title, because you're only allowed so many characters below a video description, and it's habit for me to I clean it up and make things look a little nicer, and then also to remove the extra characters, because the amount of times that YouTube's like, yeah, no, you're only allowed so many words. Okay. It's very annoying. Doop. Okay. I've been coming here every week once I found. Oh yeah, there's a plenty of people who lurk. There's plenty of people who lurk in my lives. I know it. I know you're watching me. Let's just make some awkward eye contact while I do this. You know, I know you're watching.
You want to stare at me instead?
Yeah, you just come over here and stare at them awkwardly while I'm doing this. But not in all serious. Those that like to watch and are just uncomfortable commenting. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. And I say that also because there's other people's lives that's a lot of times I'll watch and I don't comment, or sometimes I'll start commenting and then I'm busy and I can't keep chatting, but I'm still there. I usually like to make my presence known though, just cause. But yeah, to each their own. Everyone can do what they want. I'm totally fine with it. Okay, I stacked them layers together. Put the wafer die back in the package. Where is the package? I lost it. There it is. So I don't lose that one either. There we go. And then, I was going to trim down my background. That's what I was going to do. Here we go. Let's put that over there. I'm going to trim this down because it's originally 4 1/4. It was 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, but I want my card base because I'm going to use a color for the card base. So I'm going to take off a 1/4 inch off each side. So this will end up making it 3 3/4 by 5 inches is the plan. There we go. Just like that. So that gave us that. And then this I'm going to offset. Remove that little bit of schmutz. So we got that. Do I want to stack that up at all? Do I want to? Not really. Yeah, I don't want to stack this or pop this up with dimension, because then it's going to be more and more finickiness and I cannot be bothered. Can't be bothered. So we're just going to adhere this with the craft tacky glue. Just like that. And then we're going to stick it like that. Get that into place. I'm going to stick something heavy on this in a second. And then I was going to stick that right there. Actually, I can stick, where's my magnets? Stick this guy there. And that one there. And then I can do, there we go. Go like that. Just to add a few more little flowers. Yep. Okay. We'll come back to this in a second. I need to make my card base because we still got to stamp the inside of the card, of course. So, for my card base, I am going to use Schoolhouse Red cardstock. I'm going to cut that in half, like so. And I knocked over one of my other paper cutters. Good job, Amy. And I say that, and I'm going to forget about that, and then I'm going to be hunting around, and Chris is going to come in here one day, and I'm going to be in tears and be like, I don't know what happened to it. Where did it go? I don't know. And yeah. Yep.
I'll pretend that I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and he always tries to pretend that he knows, and he he's all authoritative and like, oh yeah, he doesn't have a clue. It's like, dude, you weren't here. Like, he doesn't know where anything is. I don't know where anything is. I am literally flying by the seat of my pants. Okay, top folding, A2, Schoolhouse Red card. That's gonna be my card base. And then, so that, we got this. I got little die cut hairs. Got that. We got this. This is going to be a very busy card. A lot busier than I planned it to be, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, okay? So we got that. We got that. And then on the inside, I'm going to put a panel of white cardstock. That's what I'm going to do. So, that's not big enough. Is this piece big enough? This piece will work. Piece of white cardstock. And then I'm going to just take a piece of white cardstock. I'm going to trim it to the same size as the card front. So I got like little chunks of black splatter all over the place. I'm going to cut this to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I literally have schmutz everywhere. What the heck? Okay. We got that. And then what I wanted to do was take this panel, just kind of line it up like this, and then I'm going to stamp the heart, the big heart. I'm just going to stamp it with the lighter ink, so the cracked pistachio ink. We'll just stamp with that to give the inside some color. Let's give it that little extra something. Like this. Doop, doop. Love it. Love it. And then to make everything, let's continue on the creepy and weird theme. I'm going to stamp always and forever on the inside. So, just so the person who receives this knows, it's always and forever. And also because I like this font. I really like this font, okay? So, we'll save the... I don't know what I have. I have, I can't... schmutz all over me. I don't even know where some of this is coming from. Whatever. Okay. Let's do that. And that. Yep. So we'll stamp that with red and black. Black and with red. Let's just stamp it in black. Just trying to think. Stamp it with the Nocturne. Perfection. Lerv. And then Zon, the first thing that popped in my head, I technically can't say because it would get me demonetized on this video. So yeah. Okay, and then the ampersand needs to be centered. And that I'm going to stamp with the Lumberjack Plaid ink, just because I can. There we go. Ooh, get out of there. Look at that. It looks so pretty. So delicate and demure. Everything that I'm not. Okay. Stick that back on the packaging. So there's the inside of our card. Lerv. There we go. And then, so that will get adhered to the inside with glue, not water. I nearly grabbed my spray bottle. That's not going to help. So we can adhere this like that. Amy's annoyances. Yeah, literally. You guys don't even get me started. You know, I could give you all a list of my grievances. Oh, how many days of lives do you guys want? Because, you know, I got a lot of grievances. Like, my ranting abilities, ask the unpaid intern. I just, multiple times a day. He listens to me like especially when I really go on a rage. Fun times. And usually it ends up in tears. Like, I start in a rage and then I'm just like sobbing about it. Anyway, yeah, don't list my grievances. Like, man, I have a hit list. It's not even just a black list anymore. I've got a hit list. Okay, so back to what we were doing. This I'm gonna pop up because this, without the frame, it's a little easier to deal with. So this is gonna get the Big Mama foam tape. So, which is not very Big Mama no more. And this is turned into little baby foam tape. Got like little pieces stuck to it that are completely useless at this point. We're getting close to needing a new roll of this, which I do have. I got backups a little while ago, so they're just waiting in the wings for when this dude gets officially used up. So we're gonna do that. And dupe. There we go. There we go. I wish I could never go live every day, Kathy. It would be chaos. It really would. Oh my goodness. There we go. I still plan though. I still keep hoping to do more like bonus lives on top of these ones I do on Sundays. It's just trying to find that sweet time. Okay. There we go. There we go. It is a little mama. It's just a little tiny baby foam tape now. For those that aren't aware, do I have? Oh, I do. I'll show you. I'll show you the Big Mama foam tape. How it arrives, and then you'll understand. Okay. This is why it's called the Big Mama foam tape. It is. I can actually center it right here. There you go. Hi. There we go. That's the Big Mama foam tape. There's 72 yards in one of these things. I have used up several. So that's where I'm at. But This is why it's called Big Mama. It is because the roll is utterly enormous. And favorite foam tape. I loves it so very much. So yeah. Okay. Do that and that and that. Derp. Oh, get off of there. Go away. There we go. Okay. So, gotta get this centered. Nope, wasn't centered. Get it centered onto the card. Boop, boop, and boop. And then we flip it over. Chop off the bit hanging over. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So we got that. No, we're good. What are you going on about? You haven't even been paying attention.
I haven't. It's just your video started buffering.
Oh, did it? Probably because my live just went over 2 hours. It wasn't supposed to be that long today. Apologies, everybody. We were talking about so many random things. Ink storage and all the stuff. Okay. Will you be my... There we go. Okay. Let's get stuff adhered. And then... Amy after hours. Oh, you guys have no idea. You guys have no idea. Like... Yeah. I am very, very, very aware and very appreciative of those that, you know, tune into my lives, watch my videos, interact with my content, etc. Like, you guys have no idea. I am very appreciative of it. And I do, well, like, I work hard, but I also work very hard not to be quite as much of a hot mess. But, yeah, I definitely don't fake it. I'm holding myself in check is what I gotta say, because yeah, I swear like a trooper, my friends, and I'm very opinionated, like to a fault, and yeah, like I said, I don't have patience, and I put my foot in my mouth constantly, and that's why I sweat during my lives. I sweat because I'm genuinely worried that I am going to put foot in mouth and, you know, say something that's like career ending. Hasn't happened yet, but you never know with me. Okay, so I got little, there we go. There we go. So got that. I got that. This little guy, I'll just like trim up a couple pieces of the foam tape. Okay. There we go. So let's take little pieces and just stick them on here because this is going to be just simple. Derp and derp. Okay, so we got that one. I'll probably do the same thing with the little birdie. I like that, kitty. I'm not a hot mess. I'm a spicy disaster. Yes. Heard. Wait, need that. There we go. I should get that tattooed on me. Seriously. Yeah. He's just nodding his head, total in full agreement. He knows. He knows. Whatever, man. He knew what he was getting into when he met me. I made it very, and I'm not even joking. Like, I'm not embellishing or exaggerating. He knew. Our very first date, we sat down and I was like, all right. And I just like word vomit. And I was like, this is how crazy I am. Hi. It's like, are you up for a second date, or is this like you never want to see me again? Because I'm insane. Although I did soften the blow. I made you cookies.
You did make cookies.
So yeah. He didn't get the cookies until afterwards, you know? So maybe if he had been like, she is crazy, I don't want anything to do with this psycho, I probably wouldn't have given him the cookies. But anyway. All right, let's put a pin. Oh, did it just start? Did the superb owl just start? I had meant to be done this friggin' thing before that. Is it?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? We have no idea. For those still hanging out with me versus watching that, I doubly appreciate it, you know. I can't compete with one of the biggest friggin' games of the year, man. Alright. Just gonna trim little bits. This is like the extent of like fiddliness I'll do with foam tape. I don't normally do much of that. My car license plate says bipolar roller. Love it. No notes. Perfection. That's funny. There we go. Oh, it starts at 3:30 Pacific time, 5:30 Central. Oh, so it starts in what, like an hour, in half an hour? Or an hour and a half? I don't even know. You guys get in. Time zones and me don't mix. We are in. We're currently on Central Time technically, but we're in Saskatchewan, so it's weird here. We don't. Our time technically does not change.
The world revolves.
Yeah, but the world, the world totally revolves around us. No, so I have to like figure. That is one of my most like Googled things constantly. Is like, what time now PST? What time now CST? It's like, because I have to like all the different brands I work with and all their time zones and deadlines and where do I want to place this little birdie? I don't really want to cover up that bow because he was really cute. Okay, we'll do it like that. I think I'm not going to add any bling to this. There's enough going on this crazy card. I put in enough. You can pick a winner.
A winner?
Yeah. So, apologize to everyone. I was not planning on this being this long, but we did have like very many detours, and that I don't mind either. You know, talking about ink storage and die cut plates and whatever other randomness we were going on about. I like to talk. You know, it is what it is. It's just what we do. Okay, let me zoom in though so we can actually show this properly. There we go. And nobody road rages with me. I love it. I love it. Like seriously, that just makes me okay. I think yeah. Okay. So, there's our card. Very chaotic. Very busy, but you know what? It was fun and I don't care. I had fun making this. So we did ink smushing and the foil, ink smushing. And then for those that missed earlier, you can go back and watch. I'm going to keep it up like I always do. Watch the replay. It's fun. But I used the embossing folder in the background, which is always hard to kind of see. But then because I did the foiling, which was super simple, I'm definitely going to be doing this more. It picked up, you know, those raised edges. And then very simple watercoloring that legit anybody can do, especially like this. This was very, very simple. I didn't do anything crazy, you know? Like this was just simple. I highly recommend trying it out. Just playing with some distress inks, doing a bit of watercolor. And then of course the inside. Always and forever. You know? It's just cute. It is. And then yeah, I haven't mailed out. Let me switch to my I like when that works. I haven't mailed out last week's winner, but for those that, you know, watch consistently, I got caught up on all of the lives from November till the one before last week. And those all got mailed out like a week ago. Something like that. Because of the postal strike, yada yada, and then I was giving time for things to be caught up. I think at this point they're technically caught up as far as I can tell. So I mailed out all of the live stream cards a week ago. So hopefully they'll start showing up soon. Depending on, because some of them go like all over the world. But yeah, got them mailed out. But now that we're back to like normal schedule, Amy's lucky if she gets, you know, out once a month to mail things. So we'll see. I'm going to try to mail this one in last week's, this week. I'm going to try. I just, I'm not going to promise anything because you just don't know. Do we have a winner?
We do.
Who's the winner?
The winner today is Kat from Cocoa, Florida.
Kat in Florida. You're going to be my Valentine. Oh, it's fun. I get a kick out of you guys entering to win these. And I do like sending them out. So, yeah, Kat in Florida. I'll mail these out, or mail this one out. I'll mail out last week's. Hopefully I'll do that this week. We'll see. I got, as usual, again, it's just so many things on my plate. It doesn't end, and I need an actual assistant because the unpaid intern, sadly, can't work for me full time. It would be nice. It would be nice, but that's, you're dealing with winter roads. Yeah, my post office, though, isn't very far from me. It's not fun. The parking lot at our local post office is an absolute death trap, and I'm not exaggerating. It is stressful. Like, people park like a bunch of morons, and then on top of it, they drive, like, they just zip through. It's just, it's chaotic. It's really chaotic. Kat McCarthy, if that's you, if you're in Cocoa, Florida, it's you. Yeah. If that's you, is that the last name?
That's the last name.
Oh, so yeah, it was you. Yay. Yeah, so I'm gonna, oh, because we have more than one Kat in the chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kat McCarthy. I don't normally just like say the last names. I don't know. I try to like protect people's personal info, and I get a little overly zealous with it. But yeah, Kat in Cocoa, Florida. So that's fun, and yeah, thankfully, like we'll keep doing the lives. I'll keep giving away the cards. I do plan on doing like separate little giveaways specifically of cards. I also have product and stuff I need to do giveaways for. It's just shipping rates have gone up again, especially here in Canada, and it gets postage rates went up like 25%, which that's been fun, but is what it is. But yeah, I like mailing out cards to you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoy them. Why not? So yeah, I do plan on doing some non-live adjacent card giveaways to give more people, because not everyone watches the lives. I get it. It's fine. So yeah, we'll do it. I just, again, can someone please hurry up and figure out how to give me more hours in a day? Maybe an extra day in the week would be wonderful too.
You would only waste them anyway.
I would waste them. I totally would. I would also appreciate like a chef and a housekeeper.
I'm not good enough for you.
You're not gonna. You do a lot. That's the problem, though. Could you imagine how wonderful that would be?
Have we had a housekeeper?
Oh, I can't even imagine. That would be life. We get so much more done.
Yep.
Someday. AKA never. Really. But, anywho. Yeah. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know. I've had a lot of people offer to be my assistant, and it's, yeah. I always appreciate the offers, and yeah, most people don't live around here, and it would just, I don't even have the space for an assistant. Don't have the money for it. Don't have the space. Like, I need more space. I need more time. I need all the things, you know? Yeah. I would love a personal trainer and a chef and a housekeeper, you know, and an assistant. It's not too much to ask, you know, and to be rich. I think you should take volunteers from your fans to come and volunteer. No, I do. There's a fine line. It's as it is. I've been recognized in public a couple times, and they were wonderful. You know, the people. It's just there have been others that haven't like met me face to face that have made things like weird.
But the local ones that recognize you around the neighborhood, that's kind of weird.
It was odd, yeah. Like meeting people and they were just like, "Oh, I know who you are. I watch your videos," and I was like, "Weird," but I'll put myself out there. It is what it is. When you get those resources, let me know. I know, right? Who knows? We always joke about like when we win the lottery, but neither of us gamble.
No.
Like at all. We're very much against it. So, you know, when we win the hypothetical lottery that we never play or participate in. So I keep saying too, you know, I just need a benevolent sugar daddy.
Who plays the lottery for us?
That would maybe play the lottery and just gift me the monies without wanting anything in return. Maybe just my friendship. That's all I'm willing to part with.
Maybe a well wishes everyone.
Yeah. You know, I'll make them cards. That's, you know, can't there be sugar daddies that would just like some handmade cards? I could do that. But anyway. Scottish Cabana boy. Yeah. Oh, we all need to win the lottery. Ay. Anyway. I don't think I could deal. Yeah, see, Jared, that's where I'm at. I don't think I could deal with another person touching like your stuff. Yeah, that's part of it too. I would really struggle. That's also why I've never won the money. You know, we like house cleaners and things like that. The thought, like when I've set aside some monies for it, and then I'm like, a stranger coming in here and touching my things. No, can't do it. So yeah, maybe in exchange for foot pics. I know that's about as far as I could ever go. See, this is why I've been curating a group of weirdos that you guys are just as weird as I am. Yeah.
Foot pics?
Yeah.
Best I could do is sock.
Sock We've pics. Even got the intern into it. Yeah, you could do sock pics. Yeah.
Maybe my
maybe an ankle.
An ankle. If you're lucky. Sitting there in my like gross slippers.
Yeah, your slippers are grody. Anyway, on that crazy note, like I always say, welcome to the chaos. Oh my goodness, folks. Anyway, as always, stay tuned. This week I should have more videos than last week. I think I only uploaded like technically 2 videos last week. There was a lot of behind the scenes stuff, like just a lot of admin things and dealing with like insurance crap and
everybody's favorite pastime.
Oh yeah, insurance. So many just really mentally exhausting and time consuming and stupid things. That's basically like all of last week, just encapsulated. It was exhausting, and then you just like, what did I even accomplish? I don't even know. I'm sure there's a crowd for socks. Oh, probably. There's people have their things. They do. I don't shame. I don't judge. It is what it is. I just stay away from it because it's like, I don't even want to know where those rabbit holes go because, yep. My dog's foot would be sexier than mine. Hey, there's something about little toe beans, a little pupper dog and kitty cat and bunny rabbit, like little toe beans. I'm just like, oh, so cute. So cute. So cute. Anyway, okay. I appreciate you guys. This went on very long. Appreciate the... I don't want to help with supper. I was going to try and make cookies. I don't know. I don't have the energy to make cookies. Like I said, I sweat during these lives and then I'm just like drained.
Yeah, I got to go squeegee your back.
Yeah, gross. I'm tired. I need to have a nap. Anyway. Oh, and also I wanted to watch that movie.
Yep.
We're going to hopefully watch The Wild Robot. That is the plan. Question. Do you think you might ever do a SSS class like Nina and Heidi did? If I was invited or asked to, possibly. I've only done one official like class because I did that Altany one last year. Yeah, last year. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But yeah, nobody's asked me. So if that ever happens, I will be sure to let everyone know. If for me to do one like on my own, you know, of my own volition, because I have had people ask about that, like if I would do like classes. And as of right now, I can say no. But it's different when, like, if someone was to ask me to do them, you know, and then it's like I do it for them for that brand or for, you know, that channel or whatever. Um, I would be more inclined to do it because to do them on my own, they're a lot of work. They are a lot of work. And as I have made, I think, quite clear, I fly by the seat of my pants. And doing that sort of like prep work and all the things, and you know, between the overthinking and just how I am in general to actually offer, especially because like if it was like a paid class, I do it all for free. I do everything for free. So we will we will see um we will see what happens. Oh yeah, you guys are commenting on Chris's comment. He doesn't actually squeegee my back. That's so gross. It's just I got like a mental image of that, and I'm just like, oh, gross, gross. But legit, I do. I sweat during these lives, you guys. Like it's just, it's an interesting. How do you explain it? It's like because you're like I'm on, you know, I'm on because I'm on camera. You know, you got to bring the personality. You gotta, you know, and then the whole time I'm like, don't f it up, Amy. Don't f it up. Don't say something inappropriate. Don't say the f word. Don't say the f word. Don't say the f word. You know, so it's like, so then I sweat. I sweat. It's it's a lot. Um, but yeah, I appreciate it. And yeah, I like teaching all the things. Uh I'll just yeah, Laura, I saw your message. I just contact them. I think I assume it's just a misprint. That's what I assume. Um, yeah, I just assume it's a misprint on the bottom of the ink pad label. Um, honestly, I don't even really look at the bottoms of my ink pad labels anymore at all. Like I get the inks and I'm just like, derp, you know, slap the color label on them, and that's about it. But yeah, things like that, I would just contact them and be like, hey, I noticed this, and then you know, set and include a picture, so you know, and see. But I assume it's a misprint, because that happens. It happens. Um, do. I get it. I used to do trade shows and always sweat trying to keep. Oh yeah, when I went to create, not last year, the year before, because I wasn't able to go last year because chaos. When I went the year before, I ended up helping out at one of the booths because it was chaos. There was so many people, and it was Shannon who now works for Hero Arts. Shannon Pelche. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Wonderful human being. She is so good. She's so good. And she actually, and I learned afterwards, she used to be like an elementary school teacher, which makes perfect sense because just the way her just demeanor and everything, I was like, but she was all by herself. And I was like, do you need help? And she was like, no, like, you know, and I was like, I'm helping you. And I just like got in there and I helped out at her booth until the end of the day. It was, I don't know, however many hours. I was sweating so much, like literally like dripping sweat because I was stressing myself out so bad because I was dropping F bombs. Like it was chaos. It was so chaotic. It was fun though. I met some really wonderful people, and yeah, my friend Christy was there at the time, and um they were watching me just make a complete and total fool of myself. And yeah, I was sweating because I was just like, oh my God, they're like, no one's ever gonna hire me for nothing. I am not very professional. And yeah, um, I'm not very demure, not very mindful. I am like chaos incarnate, 100%. And I also deal, I don't deal well with people. I've talked about this. I have very severe social anxiety, like almost debilitating. I can talk to this camera, I can talk to you guys, do my thing, but put me in a room and if you guys were all physically sitting here, I would probably throw up first, cry for a bit, and then I'd get over it. But you know, I need those moments of just my entire body rejecting everything. So, you know, fun times. Fun times. Uh oh, I was like, what are you talking like forgetful farm family feelings fork? You know what F word. Yeah, last year's create was nowhere near as chaotic because they limited that, they had to limit the numbers. We exceeded like fire code regulations. There was way too many people. So that would have been 2023 because it was the first one since the pandemic. And it was just, it was chaotic. It was still fun. It was chaotic and wall to wall people, and just everyone was just kind of losing their minds, but it was great. It was wonderful. Last year they limited how many could go, and I didn't get to go. I had to cancel almost last minute, and I'm still heartbroken over that. And there is, for those that aren't aware, it has been addressed, but there will not be one this year. A little heartbroken over that too. Simon Says Stamp is going to do online events this year, online classes similar to the one they did. That was Friday. It's still on their YouTube channel. Like, it's up for those that want to participate in it. It's really fun. Nina did an amazing job. And yeah, so they're going to do online events this year, no in-person event. Create in person is supposed to happen. The plan is next year, so 2026, which sounds insane to say that, but it's 2025. We're in the future. We're in the future. Ay, ay, ay. So, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Robin. I discovered you due to the Altany class. Thank you. That I appreciate that. I was so stressed out. I nearly threw up. I'm not even joking. I nearly threw up before I went live for that class, because again, I'm not professional. That wasn't a professional paid event. So, and they were wonderful. And Amy at Altanu, because we had two Amy, she's the other Amy, wonderful. Her and Bridget do like the moderating and stuff during the Altanu events, because Altanu does events every couple of months, 2 or 3 months, every 3 months, roughly. They have another one coming up in May, I think is their next one, the Secret Garden Retreat. Worth it. But yeah, they have, it's usually Bridget and Amy that do like the moderation of the classes and stuff, and they're both one. Bridget is amazing. I love her. And Amy is amazing. Amy like talked me off the edge before I went live. Like, she literally like had me doing breathing exercises, and I was like, she's like, just trust me. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Thankful for her so much, because I was just like, it was awful. It was awful. Any crafty trips this year? No. I have nothing planned. I had hoped to do Creative World in Frankfurt, which is right now. Right now. Yeah, I think it ends tomorrow. Something. I had hoped to attend that, and then I didn't get a chance to. So yeah, I have zero travel plans whatsoever. I don't travel really anyway. But we'll see. We'll see. Because yeah, we got a lot of kids, and it's just me and Chris doing all the things. So yeah. But yeah, nothing, no crafty trips for me. But unless something pops up, but nothing's like come on my radar that I'm like, oh, I have to do that. I find as I get older, I don't do stupid very well. Same. I have no patience to begin with, and I definitely don't have patience for stupidity. But then I also say that very much acknowledging my own level of stupidity, because it's up there. It's up there. Travel's so expensive, and packing makes me anxious. Same. And especially from here in Canada, travel is very expensive. Like, flights to anywhere from here in the middle of Saskatchewan are very expensive. It's nuts. I never even would even consider going to Frankfurt. And the funny thing is it was like significantly cheaper if I had been able to go. It was significantly cheaper for me to fly to Frankfurt than it would have been for me to fly to Ohio. And I was like, it's so insane. But it just is what it is. Does anyone know if the Better Press works with the Big Shot switch? If you go on the Spellbinders website and like go to the Better Press page, like for the Better Press, not the plates, anything, like just the Better Press machine, they have a compatibility thingy on there, and it says what machines it works with. I can't say, because I use my Better Press with the Platinum 6. It does work with other machines, but I I don't want to make any recommendations. I don't want to say nothing because I've not tried it with anything other than the Platinum 6. So, but they do have it on their website. It's on there. I know they do. Okay. All right. I am going to go because I'm very much hoping to watch The Wild Robot. For those that, I'm sure anyone who is watching the big game is probably long gone getting their snacks and things and whatever it is that you do when you watch a sports game for sports. Can you tell? I don't ever. It does not interest me at all. So yeah, I am gonna take the photos, do the socials, all the things like I always do. And then I'm hopefully going to be able to curl up with kids and watch The Wild Robot because I have been just I've heard so many good things about that movie and how cute it is, and I'm sure I'm going to cry, whatever. And then, yeah, hopefully I can squeeze in some time to bake some cookies. I need to make cookies. One of my older kids made cookies the other day. Those things were gone in like 48 hours, which happens around here. And yeah, I'm going to do all my socials and then just stay tuned. I have many videos coming. I have so many because I have deadlines, all the things. So I got videos coming and hops and so much stuff. I got to deal with my planner, all of that stuff. And yeah, I will update everyone. And I think that's it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging around with me as I just yap. I like having these little chats. And then like I always promise, but you never know, I will try to do more bonus lives, even ones, because I've had a lot of people request to, like, because I have, swatching and things to do, the menial boring stuff. I do like doing those live, though, because that's fun, because then I can just do this while also getting things done. Because I have inks and paper I need to do swatch rings. Everything I own needs to be swatched. And I actually like doing it. I like swatching. It's because it's something you can be almost mindless about. So I like talking to you guys when I do it, because then we can just chat and hang out and whatever. No idea when I'm going to start doing that, though. Because again, I need more time, but we'll get there. Well, thanks, Squirrel Girl. Well, good. Welcome to the chaos. Welcome to the chaos. And I have thousands of videos on YouTube, just card making. It's fun. So yeah, we will hopefully be able to pop in. Laura, I will not be doing a craft room tour. It's a shared space and there's some privacy issues. And also that I have so much stuff that's jury rigged in here that I will not put that on camera. And also I literally don't have the time. I don't. As it is, I need to run. I like it's like the more time I procrastinate talking to you guys, then less like cleaning I have to do. But that, it still needs to be done. And I don't like pulling all-nighters anymore. So, anywho, I appreciate you guys. I will talk to you all later. And I hope that you guys all have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!